Hello and welcome to today's Pilates snack. So today we are going to focus on your balance as well as building some strength. So for the class today you're going to need something like a yoga block. If you haven't got a block you can use a book instead. Ideally a couple of little light hand weights. These are 1 kilo, so between 1 and 2 kilos. Or you can go heavier if you're used to using weights, and also a TheraBand loop. So if you haven't got those, you can improvise. You could use bean cans or water bottles filled with water for your weights, and also it's optional. So if you don't want to use them, you can do all the exercises without the props. Enjoy. Onto all fours, and you're going to just have your block near you. So we're going to use these in a second, so just make sure you have it next to you. And then come down onto all fours. So we're just going to mobilise a little bit first before we strengthen down here. So knees nice and wide, feet nice and wide, tuck your toes under, and then just start to shift your body weight forwards and backwards. So you should be nice and warm, so it's more a question of just mobilising the joints a little bit, getting any stiffness out. So you can walk your hands a little bit further forward and then let your pelvis start to drop down towards the floor. Draw your shoulders back and open your chest. So breathing in and breathing out. Do that once more each way. And then next time you come forward, just going to pause here, untuck your toes, relax your shoulders, drop your pelvis, pubic bone down towards the floor. Can you straighten your arms? If that doesn't work for you, just lower yourself down, but prop yourself up on your elbows. And then when you're ready, just drop your bottoms all the way back. Have a little stretch out here. If you can get your forehead on the floor, pop your head on the floor. Otherwise you could use your block and just let your head rest on your block, whichever is comfortable for you. Okay, when you're ready, you want to grab your blocks. If you've got a book, if you're using a book, you might want to put a cushion or a little folded blanket or something over the top, because you're going to kneel on it. So a book might be quite hard to kneel on. It's up to you. And you're going to have your knees on, hands or fists on the floor, and you want to have your toes off. So that's the idea of having the block. So it means that your toes are off the floor and you can't use your feet to stabilise you. Okay, so you're going to bring your knees quite close together. Draw your shoulders back. Imagine a tray of drinks on your back so it's nice and flat. Shift your weight into your front leg and lengthen your back leg behind you. So front leg's the leg nearest the screen. And then come back down. Shift your weight to the other side and lengthen away. And again, so when you do this, the leg this muscle, your glute medius, is working on this leg, and on the other leg your glute maximus is working. So it's a really good all over glute exercise, and your core is working, of course, to stabilise you. If you find that's easy, so we can start to take away opposite arm. Breathe out and breathe in. So all of a sudden it becomes a little bit more tricky. Try not to let your feet touch the floor, but if you're really struggling, obviously pop your toes down. Breathe out. You can also come down onto your elbows if you're struggling with your wrists. And again, good. Lengthen away. Let's just do one more each side. Good. And then pause here. Okay, you're going to drop down onto your elbows. Leave your block where it is. And then just slide your feet out so until you come into a plank. So you might not stay. You might not stay in plank. Some of you might want to just drop your knees down. You might need to shuffle your block back a bit. So if you need to, drop your knees onto your block or your book. And then we're going to just work on lifting one knee at a time. So as you breathe out, lift one knee and then the other knee. So you're just alternating. Just watch your upper body. If this doesn't work for your neck or your shoulders, I want you just to come down and lie on the floor and then work on just lifting one leg at a time. Okay, so don't strain if it's painful. Okay, next option, you can lift both knees and then tap both knees down. Lift both knees, tap both knees down. Once again, you can do that from the floor. Actually you can't. You can just do one at a time from the floor. Lift and lower. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Hold it there. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Pop your knees back down on your block. Send your bottoms up to the sky. Heads and elbows and forearms down on the floor. Just have a little stretch out here. Take your left hand underneath your right, so come into that thread the needle stretch. And then go the other way. And then come back to the center. Just bring yourself into kneeling. You could do this on your block, or you could do it just on the floor, it's up to you. If you're doing it on your block, whichever way you're doing it, bring your knees together, bring your weights in towards your chest, and this time have your toes on the floor. So actually I will do it sideways on so you can see. So have your toes on the floor to start with. So we're going to drop back into a kneeling position. If that doesn't work for your knees, just stay upright, don't come back. And then I want you to think about using your glutes, squeezing your thighs together and coming back up. So sit back down and then breathe out, push up. So these are sit down squats, really good for working your glutes and pelvic floor. Breathe out. So push those knees in and you should feel some activation in your pelvic floor and glutes. Can you do it without putting your toes down on the way up? What does that do apart from give you cramp in your feet? So if you need to, keep your toes down because my feet are going to cramp up. Okay, let's add your arms. So down, and then as you come up, bicep curl. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more. And last one. Okay, pause here. Toes down or up, it's up to you. Bring your weights into your chest. From here, we're going to hinge back. So keep a straight line from your knees, your hips to your shoulders. Eyes facing forward, don't let your head rock back. And again, breathing out. Use your core. So the weights just add, obviously, a little bit of extra work for the abdominals. So if it doesn't work for you, then do it without. Breathe out. And back up. Okay, let's rotate. So hinge and rotate to one side. Again, if that doesn't work for you, you can just maybe stay with the sit down squats, or you could just work on rotations without the hinge. So breathe out as you hinge, breathe in as you come back up. Just make sure you just turn your head, you don't over rotate your head. So just keep your head in line with your breastbone. We'll do 1 more each way. It's quite hard work on the knees, isn't it? And then just pop your weights down. Let's give our knees a rest. So pop your block as well down. Just have your weights to your side and come down onto your tummies. Woo, we're finally lying down. Okay, take your weights behind your back. So just take them behind your bottom actually, so just have them behind your bottom. And then can you hold them out to your side, level with your bottom, but they're just hovering off the floor. So we're just going to do little pulses up with those arms, up towards the ceiling. So again, feel free to do these without your weights, but you want your palms to face uppermost. Can you think about drawing your shoulder blades together? And then for those of you who want to, turn your head to face the front and peel your chest off the floor. If you've got any neck issues, I would suggest you don't do this part. I would just suggest you keep your forehead down on the floor or turn to one side. So just going to pulse a little bit more for another few seconds. Let's just do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Everybody turn your head to the side and let your shoulders just relax. Oh, that is a little bit of hard work. Okay, so once again, pop your weights to the side, hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up onto your hands and knees, and then this time you're going to take your block. If you've got a hedgehog, this next series, a hedgehog or even one of the little round balls, you're going to put it underneath your bottom. And you're going to bring yourself back onto the floor. So when you come back, make sure you use your elbows to come down. So whatever you're using, cushion, block, hedgehog, ball, have it right underneath your sacrum. Your sacrum is the triangular bone at the back of your pelvis. the bottom of your spine. So it's going to support your back. So when you're now, whatever you're lying on, I just want you to let your back of your pelvis and your lower back feel that it's really supported. So try and just relax all the muscles and any tension from your lower back. Bring your hands onto your pelvis, relax your shoulders and your head, and as you breathe out, you're going to float your right leg into tabletop and then bring it back down. So your goal for this one is to try and keep your pelvis nice and still underneath your hands as you bring your legs up and down. Your second point that you want to think about is, can you keep your tummy nice and still and flat? So if you had a glass of water balanced on it, every time you bring your leg up, there'd be no movement up and down in your belly. So what it means is you need to breathe into your lower rib cage. So if it helps, put your hands on your lower ribs and feel the breath go into that point. Okay, so you can either stay with that. If you want to work a little bit harder, next time you float your front leg up, then float your back leg up. What happens to your abdominals? What happens to your back? And then one down, and then the other one down. If there's any doming in your abdominals, if for example you spilt your glass of water, I want you to stay with the first one that we did, so when you've got one foot on the floor all the time. If this one feels okay, then our next challenge is to keep both legs up and then just to lower one heel down and tap at the time, one heel at a time. Again, check in with your abdominals. Any doming, any excess tension, or any arching of your back, go back to one of the previous ones. Then you can start, if that's all okay, you can start to extend one leg at a time. So breathe out, heel taps down, and again. What's happening to your breath? Can you still breathe into the lower part of your ribs? Or are you breathing into your belly or even into just your upper chest? And then that's the final thing we're just going to add on is some arms. So opposite arm, opposite leg, whichever version you're doing. Breathe out as you extend. Breathe in as you lower. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Feel those abdominals working hard. Hug your knees into your chest and have a little rock side to side. Okay, from here, push your feet up towards the ceiling. So if you can, you want your legs to be straight. Again, your back is nice and supported because you're up on a cushion or your block. And then hug your knees in. So your first option, you just stay with this. Hug them in, push them straight up. If that feels okay for your back, you can start to lower your legs so that they go more towards the point where the wall and the ceiling meet. So breathe out, push away, breathe in, come in. Once again, check in with your abdominals. Any doming, then you bring your legs to going back up towards the ceiling. You can take your legs a little bit lower again if you want to, but make sure there's no arching of your back and doming of your abdominals. Whichever version you're doing, add an arm extension as well, so lengthen the arms out behind you. Breathe out and in. And your third version, your third option is chin to come to chest as you lengthen and then come back down. Any neck issues, please leave your head on the floor. 2 more. And last one. Hug those knees in or have a little rock side to side. Well done. Okay, well done. All the hard work is done. Last 5 minutes stretching. So well done. Okay, so bring your feet down onto the floor. Bring your arms out to the side and just allow your pelvis to tilt back and forth on your block, on your cushion, on your hedgehog. So this is where if you've got a ball or a hedgehog, it's really nice to do it. We're going to do just a little bit of massage for your back, lower back. So if you have got a hedgehog or one of the little balls, then do it on one of those. Cushion isn't so bad as well. So just forward and back. Try now, we're not working on tightening or using your abdominals, your pelvic floor. So if you can, try and just release all the muscles, relax all the muscles now in those areas. So just do 1 more each way and then come back to the center. Take your feet and your knees out nice and wide now and just let your knees drop side to side. So even if you are working on trying to build strength in your glutes and pelvic floor and your abdominals, it's also good practice to release them as well. So those muscles don't want to be working all the time, otherwise they're just going to become fatigued. So you want them to work when you need them, and you want them to be relaxed at other times. Okay, just go one more each way, and then next time you come to your left, just pause with your knees there. Try and let that top knee just drop down towards the floor, and then switch, go the other way, and then come back to the centre. Okay, lift both legs up, hold on to the top of your knees. So we've got two options for the next one. You can either do big hip circles where you open and close your legs. If that doesn't work for you, keep your knees shut, tight together, and just circle with the knees closed. So whichever feels best for your body. So again, you're getting a nice little massage for your lower back. Also, these types of movements are really good for period pain, endometriosis, because you're encouraging blood flow to the pelvis. And you're mobilising your hip joints as well. Make sure you do both ways, so make sure you change direction and go both ways. And then you're just going to hug your right knee in, send your left leg out in front of you. So it's about 45 degrees, and then just lower that leg slowly all the way to the floor. So some of you want a straight leg if you can. If it doesn't work for your hips, again, you can have a bent knee. So with that left leg, you want to feel that you're pushing your heel slightly into the floor, but also lengthening it away from you. And then just walk that leg back up. So left foot's flat, cross your right leg over the top and bring your arms out to the side. And then we're just going to rock side to side. So nice, gentle, slow rock. Again, great for abdominal pain, lower back pain. Just have a little rock side to side. Okay, and then from here, lift your left foot off the floor and hug your right knee in towards you. So again, some of you might get a stretch into your bottom. You can either stay nice and still, you can rock side to side, whichever works best for you. Good, and then let's do that on the other side. So this time, right leg stretches out along the floor. Hug your left in towards you. Have a little rock here, and then bend up that right leg, cross your left leg over the top, or left ankle over the top, arms out to the side, and again just a little rock side to side, and then lifting your right foot off the floor, hugging your left knee in towards you, just for a few more breaths. All right, pop your feet down, lift your bottom, take your block away. Stretch your legs out in front of you and stretch your arms overhead if that works for you. And imagine that you're in traction there, that somebody's pulling your hands, pulling your feet. So get that nice stretch through your abdominals. Bring your arms down by your side, bending your knees. Let your knees drop out to the side and the soles of your feet come together. So into the butterfly stretch. If you want to, you can bring your arms out in either T or into goalpost arms, just to open up and give you a stretch across the front of your chest. And then take your awareness to the back of your head. So try and let all your points of contact now be heavy and supported by the floor. So back of your head, back of your shoulders, your elbows, your hands, your arms, wrists, your upper back, your pelvis, your bottom, and the outside edge of your feet. And then just take your awareness down to your pelvic floor and your belly, and try and breathe in through your nose all the way down into your pelvic floor. And as you breathe in, just expand your belly, and as you breathe out, allow your belly just to drop and soften. So we're going to breathe in, start expanding your belly, and then move up to your chest, your ribs, and then your chest. So breathe in from the belly, ribs, chest, and then breathe out again. So breathe in, belly, ribs, chest, and breathe out. And just do that a few more times. So what we're doing here is just working your diaphragm through its full range of motion, allowing the pelvic floor to naturally contract as you breathe out and naturally relax as you breathe in. And then bring your knees together Turning on to one side, just roll all the way around onto your side, pop yourself up into a sitting position. And if you've got your blocks, you can sit on your block. So come and sit on your block. If it's comfortable, you can have your legs out in front of you. You can sit with your legs crossed, whichever works for you. So just to finish, we're just going to do a little neck and shoulder release. So try and sit up nice and tall. Imagine that you've got a piece of string coming out of the top of your head and it's pulling you up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to take your left hand onto the floor. Your right hand is going to come up and just drape over your head. So it's not really got any pressure, it's just draping over. And then you're going to take that right ear down towards the floor. If it's too much pressure with your arm or your hand there, then just let it go. So if some of you maybe just be a little bit cautious of this if you've got any neck pain or have headaches, just it's good to release, but you don't want to put too much pressure on the head. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Take your fingers now, just bring them underneath your collarbone. Press it into your collarbone, and you're going to take your head and just look to the side, and at the same time jut your chin forward and then look up. If you're doing this properly, you'll feel a stretch down the front of your neck. So just take some nice deep breaths here. Feel your ribs, tummy rising and falling. And then come back. Okay, do the same on the other side. So right hand down, drape the left hand up over the top, or left arm over the top. Slow your breath down and just try and create space between your ear and your shoulder. And then slowly bring your head back up. And then we'll do that little anterior neck stretch. So hands just below your collarbone, on the skin if you can. Turn your head to the side. And then jut your chin forward. I've said this before, but if any of you've got teenage children who spend lots of time on their devices, this is a great stretch for them. Just breathe. And then come back to the center. Give your shoulders a little roll. Maybe just have a little roll out there. Then take a nice big breath. We're going to finish here today. And then bring your hands down, just because sometimes when we're being sat on the floor and then get up quickly, make us feel a little bit dizzy. Breathe out and do one more time. And breathe out from here. Just take a little rotation to one side and then to the other. And then little side bend, so reaching up and over. And hopefully you feel that you've had a little bit of work today, but also a little bit of a stretch out as well. There we go. Thank you very much.